Just close my eyes again. Climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train. Trying to take away my worries of today and leave tomorrow behind. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Fly me high through the starry skies, maybe to an astral plane. Cross the highways of fantasy. Help me to forget today's pain. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Though the dawn may be coming soon, there still may be some time. Fly me away to the bright side of the moon. Meet me on the other side. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, Dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Dreamweaver.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his caves to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. This is a breathtaking pace. And such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, to rest, to wait. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Yes, I have heard that, Patty. Because of the nuclear program, right? He had signed something to stop their nuclear program. And a couple weeks later, they took him out. I was thinking about that yesterday, about Israel. Israel. And everybody hates on Israel now. It's the popular thing to do, which is good. But what is Israel? Israel's a country, right? So do we hate the people of Israel? No. It's not the people of Israel doing it, just like it's not us that are, the warmongers of the United States. And it's the people of Israel that are conducting all of this nonsense. They're actually people of the United States that are using Israel as a cover to conduct their operations outside of the jurisdiction and the laws of the United States. So it's basically like one NGO for the United States. That's the way I started to look at it. But all the bad characters, all the bad players of Israel, other than Benjamin Netanyahu, is basically, if he's still alive, which I don't think he is the president of the United States, the real president. All these people, the obvious pro-Israeli people, that is who Israel is. The Mark Levins, the Chuck Schumers, the Ben Shapiros, and all those people. It's very, very interesting. We are Israel, and Trump was supposed to drain the swamp, but instead, the swamp took him over. I was watching a Sopranos a couple weeks ago, and I think AJ even talked about Israel and Palestine. Yeah, it's definitely. Well, it's crazy because with AI and everything, they have the ability to edit in things now. Edit out, edit in. Even in the movies, that's been like a conspiracy theory for a long time. But it's actually, I've seen a thing where they admitted that they take sensitive topics out of sitcoms for syndication, and they rerun them. because of all the, it's politically correct now, and you don't want to say fag or gay or, anything like that, which they used to say fag all the time on TV. They're not allowed to do that now. But yeah, so we listened to the JFK speech, going to the moon. It was such a huge deal. Everybody, basically on the globe that had a television or a radio was fascinated by it. It's before my time. But the moon missions were such a huge deal. And now, they keep scrubbing the launch, but here we are on April 1st, and the launch is scheduled for 3 o'clock my time. I think it's like 3:24 my Pacific time. So 6:30. I think they have a 2-hour launch time. So Eastern time, it's 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. is when they'll launch. They're going to wrap around the moon, I think. Not actually going to land on the moon. They're going to wrap around it. I think it's like a 3 or 4 day mission. Let me look this up again real quick. So we're flying to the moon today. What are the details? How long does it take? What exactly are they doing? Artemis 2 mission. They are not landing on the moon. This is a test flight with astronauts on board. Send 4 astronauts around the moon. They loop around it, do a flyby, and come back. Test the spacecraft systems with humans on board. Total mission duration 10 days. Time to reach the moon about 3 to 4 days. They swing around it and head back. The rocket they're using is a SLS Space Launch System, and they are in an Orion spacecraft. Basically, it says a NASA's modern version of the Apollo setup, but more advanced. What they're testing. The mission is all about risk reduction, life support systems, can humans survive comfortably, navigation and flight control, heat shield during re-entry, communication systems. If all goes well, Artemis 3 will attempt an actual moon landing, first time since 1972. Yeah, so we're wrapping around the moon. Very interesting. How was Nixon able to talk on the phone? Hello, Donna. To the astronauts when there was no Wi-Fi. Just curious. Yes. How was James Cameron able to tweet from the Mariana Trench, 7 miles below the sea, in a little submarine? Remember there was like some submarine that killed a couple of billionaires or something in that story? Hold on one sec, guys. All right. But yeah, no, it's a good question. Good question, Donna. I don't think we had the technology back then. I always love a good did we go to the moon debate. Did Fugazi Theater happen in the 60s and 70s regarding the moon landing and communications? Yes. It's proven that they used some, like Hollywood footage, basically, some of their whatever footage. You're right, the submersible. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull something up real quick. If you guys have never seen the Apollo 11 press conference, it's really weird, just to say the least. To me, it just seems like it could be, I don't know exactly, it's Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and I can never remember the other guy, maybe Alan Shepard or somebody. What happened? Just I'm going to spare us the clapping. Good Lord. Look at all the deep state Freemasons. That whole thing was probably a psyop.
In particular, the things that occurred on and about the moon. We will use a number of films and slides which most of you have already seen, and with the intent of pointing out some of the things that we observed on the spot, which may not be obvious to those of you who are.
It's just these people are not acting normal.
Imagine being able.
Let me mute this real quick. It's just a really strange interview. It's over an hour long. I'm definitely not going to play the whole thing. I'll just skip through it a little bit, see if we can find anything interesting.
Which was approximately 4 hours. We managed to get 30 minutes ahead of the time, and it allowed us to get a more accurate platform alignment check at one point. After the undocking maneuver, we went through...
like, you know what I mean? Like, look at these guys. Like, it just looks like they're either on drugs or they've been threatened or they've seen a ghost or I don't know what.
We found on a number of occasions that we were able to help each other in many ways on the surface. You probably recall the times that I got my foot caught in the television cable and Buzz was able to help me extract it without falling down.
We had some difficulty at first getting the pole of the flag to remain into the surface. In penetrating the surface, we found that most objects would go down about 5, maybe 6.
So anyway, these guys are just completely full of shit, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. So it just, yeah, isn't it weird? It's the weirdest interview. And, you know, the thing about the debate about whether we went to the moon or not, you know, I think it's just like, there goes my ums and my likes for Tommy. Like. The reason, in my opinion, why we're not excited about going to the moon right now, today, literally we're going to fly around the moon. You know, that should be exciting. There should be press conferences. It's just where we're at in life right now. You know, we have a government that is just, you know, they're just nothing but just lying pedophiles. And we're sick and tired of it. We're just fed up. We don't believe anything they say. They're completely full of shit. So our heart, would love to be invested in this moon mission. But we're not, because just deep down inside, we don't believe it. That's just my opinion. I'm tired of wasting any of my time. I might as well fucking love Santa. Let's fucking talk about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. That's Sunday. He'll be hopping around everybody's house. You know what I mean? It's all fucking bullshit. But we shall see. If you apply logic and what we know about technology, it's yes, I agree. And our country aren't in it. Yeah, and it's just a setup for, it's terrorist attack month, April 15th, April 20th. I always talk about that. We're at war with Iran. It's nothing but, hypersonic missiles going back and forth. And we're going to launch a rocket to the moon. This is the time to do it out of all the times. So let's say, because Trump just tweeted minutes ago that Iran asked for a ceasefire, which is probably not true, but that's what he tweeted. What if, they could come out and shoot that rocket down? Oh, anybody, Israel could shoot that rocket down. And by Israel, I mean, us. The rich secret society, scumbags in the United States that don't want to play by the rules. And so they'll go to no lengths, they'll go to any length to keep in power, keep the money, all that bullshit. That's what it's all about. So it is what it is. And, the fact that Benny Johnson, who is one of the biggest shills, Joe Rogan, referred to him basically as a dork, didn't call him out by name, but I know Benny Johnson took offense to it. He's down there by the launch pad. Oh, look, yeah, MAGA, we're going to the moon. When you got one of those, I wouldn't be surprised if we seen Nick Shirley down there too. That's just where we're at today. Everything's fucking bullshit. So all we can do is just keep calling them out. But I mean, it was bullshit back then. I mean, does anybody really believe what these guys are saying? I mean, they're not. The thing is they're not really saying anything. They're just, you know what I mean? I think it's designed for us. I think there's a reason why, this interview should be a very fascinating interview, right? 3 people that have actually touched the moon surface. Please tell us what you experienced, in high definition. And yet that's what you get. Just, it's like it's a psyop. It's designed to just get you to go like, well, fuck, I'd rather watch Little House on the Prairie. I'd rather watch My Favorite Monster, My Favorite Martian, and fucking, Land of the Lost than listen to these fucking guys. You'll get more, you know what I mean? It's just look into the Van Allen belt. Moon travel isn't possible. Yeah, my roommate always talks about that. A researcher did a whole show on it. Well, then doesn't that mean that they're just lying to us again, Donna? Right? I mean, this whole thing is just a lie. But I don't ever, what I never got about what always made me skeptical about even taking a rocket into space, because I don't believe anything. I mean, and I feel like the average person, like I know at least as much as the average person about space. Like I have a reference. I know what the speed of light is. I know what an astronomical unit is. I know how far away Andromeda is, or Alpha Centauri, or the moon, or the sun. I have a gauge of how big space is and what's out there, what they tell us is out there, and I don't believe any of it. I don't believe any of it. That's just me, and it's not even worth, debating, because it's just, to each their own. Who's going to go against mainstream science, right? But what I don't believe, so they send these rockets to even say like the space shuttle, to the space station. They'll show like a camera angle of the rocket boosters going up there, but you never get to see the transition into space. You know, they'll show like the rocket boosters separate, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And they'll show you the, you know, from Earth angle, you know, view of the rocket going into space. But then we don't never get to see the into space. What, you know, once they're, shouldn't it be like all nice and peace and calm up there now? Even though they're going 17,000 miles an hour in orbit or whatever the story is, we don't ever get to see that transition. I want to see the transition into space. It just never happens. So, but it's just neither here nor there. Runs a very close second to Bugs Bunny. Yes. Land is a Law. Yes. It was a good show, right? Everybody loved that show. Tells of shame on their faces. Yeah, and you know, it just makes more questions than answers, you know. Did they see aliens up there or something? Is that what it is? You know, I mean, that's always been, you want to talk about another thing that, you know, it just kind of makes our brain shut down, right? When you talk about UFOs and aliens, you talk about a UFO at this point. I mean, I'll just speak for all of us, but it's just my opinion. Like our brains just either consciously or subconsciously just say it's bullshit. It's not a UFO. It's a fucking some high-tech drone that China's flying, or it's coming from who fucking knows where. The United States itself. It's not alien. That's what that's the first inkling that I have. I'm tired of hearing the bullshit about the aliens and the UFOs and all that. But I bring that up because here we go. Everybody under the sun is talking about alien hybrid UFOs. Speaking of alien hybrids, Brosada Goomba, I'm hoping no one sees me here. What's up, Dean Dude? How are you? Good to see you. Let me see here. I have been wondering about the guy who fell from space. He did the Red Bull advertisement years ago. Was that real? Yes, Felix Burgermeister Baumberger, whatever his name is. Yeah, he killed himself, allegedly, running into a hotel with a paraglider. So he's unable to talk. But I often wondered the same thing. You know, what are we looking at? Are we really looking at a guy on a platform outside of the Earth's atmosphere, dropping in at over 700 miles an hour, doing uncontrollable spins, and somehow getting out of it and deploying its Mylar parachute and landing safely on the ground? Interesting. Go Red Bull. You know what I mean? These new cutting edge technology, breaking humankind records out in space are brought to you by Doritos, Pringles, Nokia, and Red Bull. Don't forget to get your financing from Credit One Banking. And thank you very much. Have a nice day. You know what I mean? It's just, that's what it is. This mass shooting is brought to you by, you know, Mrs. Mills, you know, Walmart. You know, it's just nonsense. Joe Della, hello. Good to see you. Yeah, he did die. Yeah, he was on a paraglider and I think he misjudged it or something. He got too close to the side of a hotel and went down and didn't survive the fall. So it's crazy, you know, like that's almost like like where's Tommy at? Speaking of the moon, the guy landed his space capsule in the ocean and almost drowned. Kind of the same concept, you know. You do something that mankind has never done before, and then you end up dying in something that, you know, there's a 12-year-old kid doing today. You know, you can watch YouTube. I love watching those paragliders, man. Those things are badass. They cruise those cornfields. There's one kid that I watch. He'll fly it to McDonald's, to a field, you know, and then be eating his fucking cheeseburger on his paraglider, cruising over like cornfields and stuff to go back home. I mean, I would love to do something like that. But yeah, rest in peace, Felix. All like an 80s movie, like Running Man, where all the commercials in between people die. Yep. Don't let any good catastrophe go to waste. Let no good crisis go unmonetized. You know what I mean? If school children are dying, we need to make money, man. It's time to sell chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Get that chocolate blood all over our hands. It's maddening, but that's just, that's how they roll. Let's get out of here real quick. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. I gotta go fill my coffee up real quick. We got all kinds of stuff. So the whole alien thing, everybody's talking about the aliens now. Let me just play one real quick while I go fill up my coffee. We'll start with Matt Gaetz. He was going to be the Attorney General before they picked Pam Bondi. He was a congressman, and then he stepped down because he was in the running for Attorney General, and now he's like the anchor person for One News America or something like that. It's huge on X. And here he is talking with Benny Johnson, the guy that, if you don't know, he is the guy that Joe Rogan basically referred to as a dork. And he's down waiting for the rocket to launch. Oh, that's crazy. I talk about chocolate and I get a text, worldwide chocolate. They're listening. All right, I'll be right back. Alien human hybrid programs. And remember, this is not just anybody talking. This guy was going to be the Attorney General. He was a congressman.
I think the most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating? What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
Yeah, I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like this?
Well, that was the testimony of David Grush before the House Oversight Committee, yeah, which I joined. And the testimony was that in crashes of craft that had been recovered by the CIA and through a special program that the CIA had for crash recovery, that it wasn't just, the hard materials, it was also biologics, but that they couldn't identify a human source of those biologics.
Yes, indeed. And so we have multiple people talking about this today, all over. And, long story short, they're saying that aliens and people that were kidnapped from war zones and migrants forced to have sex with aliens. and breeded some type of alien hybrid, and just basically so they can communicate with aliens, you know, speak their language or whatever. Interstellar communications. Okay, sure thing. Let me show you guys what I made yesterday for an order. Made 12 dozen cupcakes and 4 dozen last night. I've already made, it's not even 7 a.m. yet. I made 8 dozen cupcakes this morning. And I'll be back at it after the show, but I want to show you guys my K-pop Demon Hunter Rice Krispie treats that I made for somebody. Put in an order, if I can get this to pull up here. Come on. Why are you not pulling up? There we go. What's going on here? These guys. What the hell? I did a little pink and purple with some drizzle, and I got some glitter on them. And I put them in a little package with the K-pop Demon Hunter stickers on them. They ordered 4 dozen of those. And today I'm going to make another batch of those, probably another 4 dozen for Easter. Do some pretzel rods. I made some chocolate cupcakes. I normally only do the white cupcakes, but I made chocolate cupcakes because I'm going to do peanut butter icing. People seem to like that one. So I will be busy today, and then I got to babysit later. So hope my wrist is okay, right? Yes. I heard you mention these yesterday, Mossada. I had to look up K-pop Krispies. Never heard of them. Yeah, you know, at this point, I just, you know, you get a little creative. You think outside the box. Like, you don't have to overthink the, you know, I got all different. I can color chocolate pretty much any color. You just make a couple of, you know, neon colors, put some glitter on it, and then just put a sticker on the outside. I was going to order edible images, and I'm still going to. On Etsy, you can go on Etsy and get you know, like either wafer paper or actual icing images. The wafer papers are cheaper, but they just don't look as good. And then you can put those on the Rice Krispie treat itself, and people can just eat the wafer paper or the, you know, the icing thing if they want to. It's just sugar. So yeah, and I put it on Facebook, and I had one other person hit me up to want to know. They're basically interested in an order. So thank you, Grateful. I live in a sleepy little mountain town, and 3 police sirens just raced up my street. Uh-oh. Yikes. I always turn my police scanner on. Well, not always, but you know, you can just kind of tell sometimes, like, ooh, that don't sound good. And then you turn on the police scanner, and it's like, yep. All right. This is back in 2024.
There are rumors that have come up to the Hill of a secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities, hybrids. Are any of you familiar with that? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
I am not, ma'am.
I'm not.
No, ma'am.
Most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the.
So we already listened to Matt Gaetz talk. This lady, we'll listen to her talk, and then I looked this up to fact check it.
Erin Elizabeth Health Nut News, and it's a little chilly here tonight, but I just want to remind you that in 47 minutes, it will be April 1st, Eastern Standard Time, which some say was the real New Year, but we don't need to go there now. But Stardust Solutions out of Israel, who has never touched Israel with any of their chemicals, will be spraying here in the United States. They will be spraying 11 miles high. You can look this up. And they say it will be similar to volcanic ash. And on their website, it says it's to combat global warming, and they will be blocking or dimming the sun or blotting the sun. They've used different words throughout the years. So get ready. Unfortunately, we don't have any way of stopping them because our EPA, there's a loophole. That's how they're doing this. And then they're planning on getting government contracts. And the worst part is that there are billionaire investors that are American and from all over, actually, you can look them up too, who are funding this. So they are going to spray us like roaches. Just thought I'd give you the good news, and happy April Fool's Day, but this is not a joke. I wish it were.
And, you know, I watched a TED Talk on this, a Harvard TED Talk years ago. And the guy talked about that it was a 50-year plan that they would be doing the high altitude stratospheric spraying of heavy metals and plastics to cool the planet from global warming. And that it would start whenever they planned on starting it, that they would progressively increase the amount of aerosol into the atmosphere every year. So, but not only is that just absolutely just mad scientist shit, and they've already been doing this for a long time. This is nothing new. The whole weather control thing is just out of control. I mean, Alex Jones has been talking about this shit for years. People now are starting to catch on that there is actually cloud seeding, that they do actually have the capability of modifying the weather, but we don't really have a clue what they're really doing. I mean, it's wild. The basic science behind making it rain is that when you have a vapor cloud traveling up in the air, it doesn't fall down to the ground as rain unless you have nuclei up there for it to attach itself to, because, you know, the moisture has to be heavy enough to fall to the ground. So it needs volcanic ash, it needs sand, or some type of artificial nuclei, plastic, some type of a metal, chromium, barium, bromium, whatever that is, stromium. They do all different ones. There's just so many different techniques that they're using. Anyway, this company that she's talking about, Stardust Solutions, they announced reckless solar geoengineering experiment starting this month. So will we actually see, are we going to actually see the difference in the sky? I think maybe they've already started, because we played the one video where you can't see Catalina Island in California. And, when I watch those videos, I think to myself immediately, well, like, is this even real? What is this? Is this bullshit? I tend to believe it just based on that particular video. I tend to believe just based on the way the guy described it, told a story. He seemed like very believable. And then that very night, I'm talking to my buddy Brian in Arizona, and he's like, dude, you're not going to believe this, And I didn't tell him nothing about that. He's like, there's this artificial cloud thing out here, man. And, he's lived there a couple of years. He's like, I've never seen this before. I don't know what this is. He's like, you can't see, you can't, it's impossible to even see like past a certain point. He's like, it's a wall. So who knows? We're going to move on. We got too many other things to worry about than this U.S. Israeli Stardust Solutions. But something to think about. What else do we have? Oh, CIA officer talking about human alien hybrids.
Has there ever been a situation that you were in where you've gotten confirmation of government's involvement with human alien hybrids?
Yes.
Okay. From a credible source, you can say.
Yes.
They know about the hybrids.
Yes.
I mean, gun to your head right now, you would say absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
They were able to collect DNA from aliens.
John Ramirez, former CIA officer, 25-year career.
CIA had a program
to trace this alien DNA
in certain families, and particularly their children were of interest to CIA.
The CIA was tracking the activity of hybrids, human alien hybrids in the United States.
That and going back in their lineage.
So we have another alien story, and these are, I'm not searching these out. This is just what's popping up on the feed. X is owned by some, you can call it Israel or you can call it whatever. It's just one big propagandist website, with the guise of free speech cloaking it. But it's just really just one big, propaganda website. You really just got to just pick your battles. You know what I mean? So do we want to focus on alien hybrids? I'm just playing them because there's just so many videos of it today. But yeah, I think we're going to move on. I was just going to say something. I lost my train of thought. Let me read the chat here. James, hello. Good to see you. You are all probably too young to remember the Partridge Family, but that's what I have on TV. That's awesome. I brought them up on Slim Show the other night, I think. Love the Partridge Family. In fact, I seen Danny Bonaducci here at in Tacoma. Me and my buddy went to the Emerald Queen years ago, a casino, and he was just in like a little concert room. And he was just talking story, and it was cool. Kind of a weird, kind of an odd character, but he's cool, because he was here. I don't know if he still has his radio show, but he had a radio show here in Seattle for quite a while. Yeah, he is a cool guy. So let's see here. What did Trump tweet out just in the last few minutes? An hour ago. Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, has just asked the U.S. for a ceasefire. We will consider when the Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages. President Donald J. Trump. Yes. Just blast them to the Stone Ages, you idiot. Like that's really going to happen. Did Iran ask for a ceasefire? Is there really a regime change? I don't believe either one of them, but it is what it is. Maybe that's the best April Fool's joke of the day. We listened to that one already. Oh, yes. Good morning, Christ is King. From Benny Johnson, the guy that Joe Rogan. And what Joe Rogan was talking about, I can't remember who he was saying it to, but he goes, you look at, because he had Trump on his show. He had J.D. Vance on his show. He had all them guys from MAGA, Make America Great Again, when they were running for president, campaigning. But he goes, MAGA, that's not what it was. He goes, now it's just infiltrated by all these weirdos and a bunch of dorks. And he was talking about this guy, Benny Johnson. Somehow he's down there ready for the launch to the moon.
Where some of the field of cameras.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be down there to watch it in real life myself. You know, I mean, is it just really just one big, toy? I don't know, but it'd still be cool to see. Whitney Cummings, comedian, friend of Joe Rogan. Not a huge fan of her, but I love what she says on The View here. 100% agree with this.
I'm a lifelong progressive. I had blue hair and rescue.
Not this part. Not the part about the blue hair I don't agree with. Right after that.
I'm a lifelong progressive. I had blue hair and rescue pit bulls. There's days where I'm just like, I don't know anymore. I'm just literally at the point where my party, the person I'm voting for, is anyone not a pedophile? Whoever's not a pedophile, is anyone not attracted to children?
Which party is that you're talking about?
I just mean like who doesn't think kids are hot?
And
I'm voting
also,
for that
yeah,
person. I'm a life.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, and that, it's not a joke. I think that is going to be the number one question that we're going to say to those people. Be like, no, thanks, dude. You're part of the, yeah. It's going to be a wild election. The thing is like, we're not dumb enough to, I'm not going to use the word dumb because I'd be calling myself dumb too. Are we crazy enough to vote Democrat on the next one? I mean, somebody said earlier, like, I would still vote for Trump over Harris. And I'm like, golly, man. I would have to too. Because it doesn't take long to go back to what those guys were all about to be like, man, fuck that. Fuck all that. But this is just almost as bad. You know what I mean? And it is worse when you get to the point about the kids. That's way worse. Of course, it's the worst. But they both do it. Both sides do that shit. Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, they're all on the fucking DEI side, It's wild. Never vote Democrat. Yeah. Well, Democrat used to be the good party, right? ALV, like way back in the day. Weren't they? Or no, they were the evil party. The Democrats started the KKK, didn't they? Yeah, so never mind. Yeah, never vote Democrat. The things Trump says, right, Patty? He's just full of them. All right. ALV had something he sent me today, so we could check that out real quick. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'll probably just get it on my watch later on my history. Yep. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So we have a AI software tells a cop to arrest the wrong guy. Imagine you go into a business and their AI surveillance camera thinks it recognizes you as a trespasser. So that business handcuffs you and calls the cops. The cops arrive, you show them your real ID, but they don't believe it. Instead, they believe the AI. Crazy, right? This happened on September 17th of 2023. The Peppermill Casino in Reno. I've been there. Telephoned the Reno Police Department to report that the man will refer to his initials as ME, a trespasser, had unlawfully re-entered the casino. The casino reported that their AI facial recognition software positively identified the man as ME, a man they had barred from the casino months earlier for sleeping on the premises. But the Peppermill's AI software was wrong. They had the wrong guy. So this could be any of us.
Because that's the whole reason we're here, man. I don't know which one is the factual one.
Imagine you go into a business and their AI surveillance camera thinks it recognizes you as a trespasser. So that business handcuffs you and calls the cops.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? How you doing?
You show them your real ID, but they don't believe it. Instead,
you know what the problem is? I already identified the problem. It was the fucking motherfucker that answered the door. Where is that?
So that business handcuffs you and calls the cops.
This guy right here. This guy has no business being in security or anything. That dude is a psychopath, and he doesn't have any desire of the truth or common sense or anything like that. His fucking program said it, and he's gonna fucking handcuff you, and he'll murder you if he has to. Look at that fucking guy. No wonder.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
You show them your real ID, but they don't believe it. Instead, they believe
Those cuffs. All right, so just step on those red footprints. She's going to snap a picture. While she's doing that, I'm going to get a picture too. Just look up at the camera there.
I almost feel like they did this on purpose to that guy, so they could test their software and go through the whole process or something. The cop is a jackass. Everybody there is a jackass. Mossada, he does look like a psychopath. He reminds me of Don Schaefbauer, this guy that I used to work with. I actually hired him at the Muckleshoot Casino. I didn't realize it when we were interviewing him that one of his ears was missing. And then he ended up killing himself after he quit working at the casino. But he was a crazy, crazy man, that guy. That's a whole nother story, Don. I agree, Osada. People like that love to put people in cuffs and act like they have authority. Yes. And he looks like he was bullied in school. He doesn't take a shower. Or fix his hair before he goes to work. You know what I mean? It's just, he doesn't care about anybody but himself, and he doesn't even really care about himself. It's just weird. Probably watches, child porn, plays video games all day. House is a disgusting fucking, probably lives with his mom. Who knows? One of his ears was missing. Yes, it was. This dude, Don, that I worked with, he ended up working at a different casino. His Asian girlfriend, broke up with him. He called my ex-girlfriend the night he killed himself, and she didn't answer because she just kind of got tired of dealing with this BS for a while, and she felt so bad because he ended up killing himself. He went to a Safeway and bought some rat poison, swallowed a bunch of rat poison, and then shot himself underneath the chin through the head in the parking lot of his apartment over a girl. But he was just man. He was funny. We had a great time together, me and him, working. I never hung out with him, but I had to yell at him more than once because he just got out of control. He would just we work in a casino, and I'm the boss. I'm wearing a suit and tie. He's a supervisor, and he's just acting like a complete fucking clown sometimes. The crazy part is of this case, they still charged the guy with trespassing after they determined it wasn't the right guy. Yes, it makes your blood boil to hear these stories. It's like, what happened to common sense and decency, human decency? It's like these guys get the ball rolling on, something, and they can't stop it. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to be a human. They just know how to go step by step with their procedure. And even though it's blatantly, just obviously common sense, their tunnel vision, their inability to just, be a reasonable human. It's strange. Very strange. All right, let's get back to the X-Files. What else do we got? So to recap, we're going to the moon today. We're wrapping around the moon. Iran asked for a ceasefire, and if they don't open, Trump said, we'll think about it once the Strait of Hormuz is free and clear and open. Until then, we're going to blast them into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages, the motherfucker. Yep. As they say, back to the Stone Ages. Okay, Trump. Sure. Sure thing. So we have aliens having sex with humans. We're going to the moon to wrap around it, not to land. And we have Iran allegedly asking for a ceasefire. This is Jamie Peterson. I played a video of him yesterday when Bob Ferguson here in Washington State signed the millionaire tax. And this guy was like, yo, yeah, it's such a great idea. When he's the one that said if a girl is old enough to have her period or old enough to have sex, she's old enough to make her own decisions and her parents can't do nothing about it. He's gay, married to a school principal, and they have 4 boys. Just a complete pedophile sicko. And I just want to play this video of him. This guy makes no sense. And what he's talking about is explaining how income is not your property.
Once it has become income, this is not, if you think about it, I've been trying to think of good analogies to this. We sometimes have people who come into the United States, right? But they're not considered to have been in the United States because of the legal mechanism by which they got here, right? So there's a question about whether you're lawfully present. It's just an immigration idea. This maybe makes sense only to lawyers.
Only to lawyers. ALV, please explain. Please explain that to us because you're here. Good people die, but this guy is alive, right? Yes. Only ALV is going to be able to explain this. What? What did he say? You know what I mean? Let's move on. So Ryan Matta here moved to El Salvador. He's high on the horse about El Salvador. We'll play some of his video here. And I know my ex-girlfriend Lisa, her dad moved to Costa Rica, absolutely loves it. And that dude, he would go to vacation with his buddy to Costa Rica while he was married. And then he married a lady in Costa Rica and had kids and started a family while he was still married to my ex's mom. And then she finally found out. And then he's like, I'm leaving. And he moved to Costa Rica to be with the girl, 20, 30 years younger than him. Piece of shit. But anyway, in El Salvador, it's supposed to be the safest country in the world now. And no property tax. You buy a house, you buy property, you pay 13% sales tax one time, and that's it. You own it. Nothing but construction going on there. And I like what he says. I mean, if you're a skilled tradesman and you can't find work, hey.
So I want to talk to the people that are contemplating potentially moving to El Salvador. And I just want to kind of give you a little bit of advice and just some tips and some things that I've learned that I think can exponentially help you if you're interested in coming to a country like El Salvador and starting over. So I've been driving around the city today and just showing you all of the construction. Like, it doesn't matter where I go. There's cranes up there in the skyline, right? Everywhere you go, there is construction and there's development taking place. The entire country is going to get rebuilt from the ground up, renovated, rebuilt, redone, modified, upgraded. So I keep telling everybody, if you're in the skilled trades sector and you are looking to get out of the rat race and escape the 9-to-5 debt-based rat race cycle that you're stuck in America, there's no property tax in El Salvador. So once you buy your property, you own it. The car, if you buy a car cash, I bought this thing for like $5,000 cash, you don't have to put insurance on it. Now, granted, you get in an accident, you got to pay for it, but at the same time, like, you have no fault coverage in America. Throw some PLPD on it down here, probably like $10 a month, $20 a month. Okay, so where I'm going with that is, if you want to make the move to El Salvador, what do you really need? Okay, so first and foremost would be your ability to speak Spanish. So it's a predominantly Spanish-speaking country. Now, when you get up into the upper management jobs and the executive level jobs, it seems like almost every single person speaks English. And
Mute Minute. Love the sleeveless look. That's funny. Yeah, he's always putting himself right in front of the camera. I was messaging my daughter. I had to take my granddaughter to school today. So, well, we still got more than an hour before I have to leave. So we'll keep it going. So I'm not picking her up today. I told her I can do it if you have your mom pick her up, because I'm pretty busy today. So I can do one or the other. Babysit after school or take her to school. What you want me to do? I'm going to skip that one, but I do have. So this guy is Avraham Berg, served as interim president of Israel. This other guy, Josh Hammer, he's kind of part of the Turning Point USA stuff. I'm not a fan of this guy at all. I can't stand this dude. And, this guy is basically just, call him out for being a warmonger. But we're going to skip that video. But Piers Morgan and him get into it in a different video that I have. We'll play. Vitali, this guy was locked up for whatever reason, and now he's out, and now he's back to busting pedophiles. And it doesn't go well for this guy because other people get involved in it.
But it's not. Dude, you took me in the bathroom still. I thought you were gonna me, dude. Oh my god. Kiki! Fuck. Kiki! Who are you? Kiki! Kiki! Oh man, remember you checked me for a wire. What happened?
He checked you for a wire?
For a wire? You took me in the boys' bathroom.
Oh my god, brother. What's going on, dude?
Nothing much.
No.
Wait, don't cover up your face, guy.
No.
So you took that young kid in the bathroom and you checked him for a wire. The motherfucker, man. It's just crazy how many of these sickos are out there. This dude checked this kid for a wire to make sure he wasn't, a cop or recording it or whatever.
No. Did you know how I knew about you guys? I monitor social activity. Yeah. So I heard you guys.
That's cool.
Yeah. Where are you going?
I'm leaving.
No, you're not. You gotta talk to us, sir. You want to fist a little boy? You want to fit in front? Oh, It's a pedophile! It's a pedophile! We met a pedophile! Exposed! Yes, exposed! Bad dude! Go, Mario. Show the shot. David, run. Show the shot. Guys, come on, closer.
Oh man!
Holy shit, we got him better in the area.
Shit! That's my guy's alive and my mom's fine. She's not on drugs.
Yo, why don't you explain yourself, brother? What happened?
You took me to the bathroom and checked me for a wire.
You took him to the bathroom? You're a fucking disgusting predator, bro. Yo, guys, get closer. Come on. Come on, pedophile! Come on, get the shot of everybody in the back.
I am. I already.
Yeah, good. I need to get that. Don't, Gabe. Quick touch. Pedo.
A little shaky camera action there, but man, sick stuff. Yes, it is. But it's cool that those guys are all like. That's the second time we've seen a video where everybody around gets involved. Because if these guys, they deserve to just be taken out. But this is a lot better. I mean, he's still hopefully goes to jail for that, But a guy getting silently arrested is not as effective as this. I think this is the way to go. Public humiliation and put these people on camera. Like if you're really doing that type of shit, I think that you should be on every, like every social media platform, on TV. They'll never put it on TV, but that's just my opinion. Public humiliation for these people, along with, the most strictest punishments possible. It's getting out of control. The whole, and it's because our government, it's, they're just disgusting. What are we going to do? What do we got here? Sean Strickland, who's a UFC fighter, tweeted this. This is not him in the video, but he put out a tweet this morning or last night. It said, I voted for Trump. I'd do it again over Harris. But you guys are no better than liberals. Follow my king. What is happening now is not what he ran on. You guys are cucks, no better than the mindless liberals. And I pretty much 100% agree with that. I feel, and I think a lot of us do, betrayed, lied to. He promised us no new wars, make America great again, drill, baby, drill. Yeah, let's drill, baby, drill. Right into what? $10 a gallon? It's maddening. If only I can get my hands on it. Oh, Tommy's in the house. AOV, Tommy, Thindu, where's Todd at? We need Todd. They did it on Instagram. The channel was called Pedo Got Caught. Nice. I missed shows where you dipped. I missed shows where you dip strawberries. Well, we could go back to doing that. I do plan on going back to that. I changed my healthy Make America Healthy Wealthy channel with Donald Trump's picture. I changed that. So I am eventually going to start doing that. I need to. Great Goomba, a little tired. All right. What else do we got here? What was this guy saying anyways? Let me see.
Here's what they said on the campaign trail. Trump advisor Stephen Miller on X. Liz Cheney is Kamala's top advisor. Liz wants to invade the whole Middle East. Kamala equals World War III. Trump equals peace. Tulsi Gabbard, October 28, 2024. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Dick Cheney and a vote for war. War and more war. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to end wars, not start them. Miller also wrote, Kamala will send your sons to war. J.D. Vance, 2023, on the Wall Street Journal. Trump's best foreign policy? Not starting any wars. He has my support because I know he won't recklessly send Americans to fight wars overseas.
Yeah. I think at this point, we're just beating a dead horse. We know. And how long is it going to take for this to play out? And how long will it take for us to, it's just. In Idaho, this guy is happy that they only have the state flags and the Idaho flags. They've taken down all the nonsense flags.
So here we are, downtown Boise. We have one major omission. We now have the American flag, there's City Hall. We don't have any other flags besides the American flag, the Idaho flag, and the Boise flag. Praise the Lord.
Yep, and I think we all know what flag he's talking about. Pete Hegseth completely being a hypocrite.
And as far as NATO is concerned, that's to the president, but I'll just say a lot has been laid bare. A lot has been shown to the world about what our allies would be willing to do for the United States of America when we undertake an effort of this scope on behalf of the free world. These are missiles that don't even range the United States of America. They range allies and others. And yet when we ask for additional assistance or simple access spacing and overflight, we get questions or roadblocks or hesitations. And the president's pointing out you don't have much of an alliance.
It's because you are an absolute joke, Pete Hegseth. You're an absolute joke. You're just completely underqualified for this position. You're a laughingstock. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You have no business being in that position. That's why nobody wants to help you. Because you guys are just, you're going to lose this war. And everybody knows it. Unless you guys nuke. Laura Trump telling a retired general he knows nothing about the military.
You know, these men and women, Laura, have put their lives aside. They've pledged an oath to protect the United States against enemies, both foreign and domestic. They are fighting for freedom. They are fighting against oppression and tyranny. Of course, this individual has no idea what that means. And he's obviously insulted
he's a
every
former
single
military
member
officer.
of our United
Laura,
States
he's
military.
a military.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's
he's
crazy.
a military officer. He does, presumably, he does know what it means. But he's still called under Pete Hegseth and President Trump basically a Gestapo. That's basically what he's saying. That's how far
and
the
it
left
shows
has sunk.
Their level of Trump derangement syndrome knows no bounds. They can't help themselves. And when they can see very clearly that these men and women are doing their duty to our country and they're serving all of us so well, that's what you get from these people on the left. But probably we should expect nothing less.
Laura, low IQ, as your father-in-law would say. I don't know. Major General, I don't get that at all. Laura, thank you.
Not a fan of the Trumps anymore. Just not a fan. ALV, are we going to have any more panel time on your show now that you're doing the history? Is there any type of come on the panel or no? I just wondering if I need to renegotiate my contract. And I still haven't got paid for the last 20 times I've been on the panel. So just curious if we're going to do no more ghost videos or nothing like that. Thindu's laughing. Right, Thindu? Not gonna get paid? Get paid for my valuable time on that show? You know? The nerve. All right, what else do we have? So in Portland, the fire department has said they will no longer put out fires from bums on the side of the road unless it's out of control because they're wasting all their resources. So, and I don't blame them. You know, why keep sending fire trucks out to put out these little fires? And that's, the city needs to just change your fucking laws. Quit being assholes, or the state or whoever. Let's get some plastic up in there. There you go. Yeah, let's get some plastic up in there. He says it burns hotter and it lasts longer. Ooh, yeah, let's cook something over that bad boy. Let's get some dogs going.
Does the plastic help this burn longer?
What, the big food bag I put in there?
Yeah.
Hotter.
Hotter.
It does kind of last a lot longer. Well, not a lot longer, but a lot longer.
Yeah, maybe the fire department shouldn't respond with a hose, and maybe they should just come with a baseball bat for the guy that started the fire. I don't know. Todd Father, there we go. Now we got all four of them. Mossada paid like an expert witness in court. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Todd, we never got paid. Is there going to be are we going back on panel for ALV's show now that he's doing the history? And I need to know because I got to renegotiate my contract, and I never got paid for all the times I've been on the panel already. The orange color is the chemicals burning. Yeah, that thing. Yeah, right. Thing, dude. How bright it is. It's just disgusting. Magooch, what's going down? Yeah, we got fires like that all over around here. All right. 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time. Artemis 2 launches.
All right, folks. Hey, we're here at Pad 39 Bravo at the Kennedy Space Center. That is a rocket ship.
No shit.
That is going to the moon tomorrow. It's Artemis 2. It's an SLS rocket with an Orion capsule that I used to work on here a long time ago.
Right,
and
right.
I launched from this pad in the space shuttle.
And you're believable.
Probably at least once or twice to the space station. But that rocket is going not to the space station, but it is going right there to the moon. Not to the surface, but around the moon, 4,000 miles on the other side of the moon, here tomorrow. It's about a 4 or 5 day trip there, 4 or 5 days back. It's a 10-day mission, 4 astronauts, including Reed Wiseman is the commander, Victor Glover's the pilot, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, who is a Canadian astronaut. And it's great to do this as an international trip with one of our greatest allies, with Canada. They have been a fantastic partner on the space station and now on this trip to the moon.
Sounds like a bunch of horse shit to me. And Mark Kelly is not to be believed about anything. Him and his brother. I don't believe one word they say. His brother was on Joe Rogan trying to explain what it was like flying to the space station and what it's like on the space station. I'm telling you that you'll come back with calluses on the top of your feet because, you know, you have to hold onto these straps so you don't float. I'm going to see if I can get video of taking off tonight on the beach. I got it last year. Nice. Is it in Florida or Texas, though? It's in Texas, though, right? Magooch? Where it's launching from? Or is it Florida? Or can you see it from both where you're at? Let me look it up. I think this one is, I'm pretty sure this one is in Houston. Where is Artemis 2 launching from today? No, it is Florida. Kennedy Space Center. All right. So you will be able to get it. That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's in Florida and it's at 6. I think they said 6:24 p.m., but it has a 2-hour launch window. So between 6 and 8:30, something like that. We shall see. All right, what else do we got here? Yeah, so Josh Hammer was on Piers Morgan. Josh Hammer is the pro-war. This guy takes it in the ass from Benjamin Netanyahu, and all those other guys just fucking suck each other off. And him and Piers Morgan get into it.
Were taken down for Tabla magazine. It didn't happen. There was a fire next to an old church building in Tabla there in the heart of the biblical heartland of Judea and Samaria there. The church was not touched. Most of this is completely fabricated. There are false images. Now there's AI. It is spread like wildfire throughout social media.
How convenient.
If there are actual instances, of Arabs being attacked,
yes,
I will be condemning as I condemn.
I have seen literal videos of it happening, which have been verified.
If it's happening, I condemn it. But I just
don't know it's happening because you don't want to see it happening because you don't want to believe it's happening.
That's
and this
not
reminds
true.
me to finish my point before you interrupted me. My point about Gaza is that international journalists are still banned by the Israeli government from operating freely in Gaza. And we all know why that must be.
Al Jazeera terrorists are banned. People who
No,
are
no,
in bed with
sorry.
Al Jazeera
All
who are
international media
Hamas.
are currently still banned from operating freely in Gaza, despite there having been a ceasefire of sorts for many months. Why do you think the Israeli government doesn't want war correspondents from around the world on the ground in Gaza, do you think?
Pierce, I don't work for the Israeli government. I'm
Wait,
American.
hazard a guess. You're a smart guy.
Frankly, the United States currently controls a lot of situation in Gaza through the border peace. You probably should ask Donald Trump that question.
Which they don't want the world to know.
Okay, all this has been. I know facts are very hard to come by on Piers Morgan Uncensored these days, but unfortunately, facts don't correspond to your particular narrative. John Spencer, who is the head of urban warfare studies at West Point, has crunched all of the relevant numbers and has shown time and time again that the civilian to combatant ratio in Gaza since the war started on October 7, 2023 have been 1 to 1.5.
If it's been the activities of the most moral army in history, as I keep hearing, if the IDF has done nothing wrong, been completely blameless, been like at the top end of morality in what they did in Gaza, fine, okay. Let the journalists in from around the world to
why don't you go? Like literally, why don't you go? If you care that much to cover, why don't you personally fly in there and try to cross the border?
There is a reason the Israeli government has banned the world's media from going into Gaza.
And I think that you should personally challenge that. Frankly, the use of your time, there would be a better use of your time on the show.
I have done repeatedly. I'm wondering whether you would condemn it.
I don't particularly care, to be
honest. You don't care that journalists should be allowed to investigate what may have happened in a war zone?
I care about right pursuing over wrong.
I don't think you do, though, Josh, do you? You just care about your side. You don't care about the truth.
No, Pierce, I care about team civilization defeating team barbarism. That is that is the moral dichotomy of the 21st century. It's been the moral dichotomy of black versus light, of good versus evil for millennia there. I know that the moral obfuscation on this show on a day-in-day basis tends to rot brains and minds, make people think
that is
the only thing that motivates me on a day.
Why are you here?
To present the team
You're now doing the Ben Shapiro playbook. You know, anyone that criticizes the Israeli government must be anti-Semitic, must be rotting brains. This is Jerry Springer.
Yeah, that was an overly long clip, and I didn't even get to the very good part of it. But I don't know what happened there. They go back and forth. Pierce calls him out. That guy Josh Hammer is a complete scumbag. I don't even know where he came from. He's definitely got to be like a Mossad, Israeli, spy type of person. Just anti-American. Can't stand him. What do we got here? This guy figured out how to live stream from a HD or from a VHS recorder.
Ready, y'all? Check this out. And bang. Y'all see?
I wonder what it sounds like.
I wonder what it does sound like. It looks sick, though. It's tough, right? Check it out, y'all. Bro. Look at this weather, though.
So I thought that was kind of cool. Be able to live stream on a VHS. Another pedophile. And this sent me down a little rabbit hole because this dude works at Disneyland. And there has been Disney characters arrested recently for having child porn on their phones.
Oh, yeah. Disneyland character. You didn't want to get exposed. You work in Disneyland, and now you met with a minor. Welcome. Friends got exposed for this.
The whole time, I don't think the age is appropriate.
Your age is appropriate, so why are you here?
In your ear.
You just, no, you're not going anywhere, Mr. Disneyland.
Who is that snitch?
Don't make a scene. We just want to talk to you. We just want to talk to you nicely. Just speak to us. What's going on here? Both of your friends just got arrested, professors, right, for pedophilia. Yeah, and now you're here in a Disneyland meeting a 16-year-old. And who are you? What's your character?
I'm not a...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and last night I was looking that up. There's been a few people arrested at Disneyland, employees, and some of them dress up, that are the characters that have been arrested for that type of stuff. Just unbelievable. Another Piers Morgan interaction. This one didn't go too well for him. He has Deontay Wilder and Derek Chiorza on his show because they're fighting, and Piers Morgan wants to keep bringing up the beef between Tyson Fury and Deontay.
I have zero respect for him.
Why?
I've said what I've said.
No, I'm not talking.
I've said what I said.
I know what you said.
Look, this segment is not about him.
I know.
For my last time speaking. Respect that. Understand?
Yeah, respect that.
Respect it and move forward.
Deontay, the only point I would make is that you seemed then to have a lot of respect for him. And as you said, now...
Let's tell him he's a cunt. And let's move on.
Who?
You.
Me or Tyson Fury?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Why am I...
You keep talking about something we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, so
I'm fighting this man right here.
Yeah,
Tell me something. Ask me something about him.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're just being one. Because you are one. So let's be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why are you doing the show?
Yeah. Not going too well for old Piers Morgan right now. He's trying to bring back his credibility a little bit, but man, this one is oof. This next one, trigger warning. New Mexico father is accused of killing his infant son by burying him alive, then telling his partner he was with his grandmother. John Hannon, 43, is accused of burying his 11-month-old son, JJ, alive after taking him for a walk in February.
Would you ever hurt JJ?
No, sir, I would never hurt you again, JJ.
The more he would act out.
Why is JJ missing? Is he hurt?
Yes, he's hurt bad.
At one point, they showed Hannon a picture of JJ and asked him again what he had done.
Did you hit him?
No, not technically.
Did he fall? Did you throw him?
Never want to throw those ones.
What?
Never wore those ones.
Then what'd you do?
An autopsy showed JJ had a skull fracture and dirt in his airway. According to court documents, a doctor at the OMI believes JJ may have been buried alive.
You told me that he was dead when you left, and that's why you left him, because you knew he was dead.
Yep. Yep.
Would you ever hurt JJ?
Motherfucker, man. That was New Mexico. Andrew Tate, I can't remember what he's saying here. Let's see.
I must have missed the memo. The global memo that went out and informed every single woman on the planet they don't drink milk anymore. Now it's oat milk. They're all lactose intolerant. Every bitch is somehow lactose intolerant overnight. I am tired of every single female I know saying, oh, do you have any oat milk? And do you know why it bothers me? It bothers me because of narcissism. You're not lactose intolerant. You have no problems with normal milk. You've been drinking normal milk your entire life. You're just so conceited and narcissistic, and you heard some other girl say it once, and now you say it, and now you pretend it matters. It's just a fucking self-obsession. It's insanity. It's absolute self-obsession. Oh, and almond milk. Somewhere on this planet, there's a guy, just a normal guy, you know, from a normal background. He bought Bitcoin at the top. It crashed by 50%. He lost all his money. He's tried everything, but he doesn't quit. He's a grinder. He doesn't give up. So he got a job at a coffee shop. And people around the town know him. He's known as a guy, and, you know, everyone knows he works in a coffee shop. His girlfriend left him. She's fucking some guy with a sports car. He's depressed, but he doesn't give up. He doesn't give in. Every day he goes to work, and he goes, you know what? I'm going to save up my wages. I'm going to grind. I'm going to pull this off. And then one day some bitch walks in her aloe yoga wear. Some bitch who's living off her fucking boyfriend because she's never had a fucking job besides sucking dick. And he looks at her and goes, well, I know what she's going to order. And he says, hi, can I help you? And she goes, I have a matcha. And he's like, well, I knew you were going to order that before you even fucking knew. What was the for? And as he walks away to make the matcha, halfway to his destination, she goes, excuse me, do you have any oat milk? And then he kills himself. He goes home and he fucking kills himself. He hangs himself. His suicide note is oat milk. That's the end. He's had enough of the narcissism, enough of the fucking constant delusion, enough of the inconvenience. I already have to make you a fucking matcha. I already hate my fucking life. Just let me make you a fucking matcha. Why do I have to make it out of oat milk? I have to go get the other fucking carton from the other fucking fridge. And where did this come from? Almond milk, oat milk. Almonds don't make milk. Almonds don't have tits.
I think that guy's getting more and more desperate for content. I don't know. I hate this guy. Yeah, he's hard to watch sometimes. I bet he gets some exciting stuff. So nice to see you doing well. We're talking about the otter. All right, what else we got here? Some serious basketball skills from Pete Maverick. Isn't he the guy that the NBA logo is made after?
I watch it very closely. He goes faster and faster. Now it develops into what I call a bullet ricochet, where you just throw it and you continually increase your speed and continue to increase your hand quickness. You realize the speed that thing is going? Hold it, Pete. Gets me nervous. Every time he does that, it gets me nervous. Makes me nervous, too. All right, let's see a couple others, Pete. This one is what I call the thigh clap. What you do is just stand, throw the ball, catch it, and throw it back. Again, utilizing all your wrists. Now, this looks very simple, but when you don't move your feet, it's very difficult. And you just keep throwing it back until you master this right here. After mastering this, then you go into what I call the thigh clap. What I'm going to do here is throw the ball about 5 or 6 feet in the air. I'm going to clap my thighs once, catch it behind my back, twice, and so on up to 10. Go ahead. I'm going to try to get to 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how he watches the ball. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How do you like that? You notice how he watched the ball on that all the time. His wrists, his coordination, his ability to use his hands in any part of his body, it's all important to the game itself. Let's see another one. Okay, a third one that is very difficult, but develops extremely quick hands. And since you have to have quick hands and have knowledge of how to dribble the ball, is what I call the knee clap. And the object of this is to put the ball behind your knees. I'm going to drop the ball, drop it, clap my hands in front, and try to catch the ball before it hits the ground. You have to utilize a lot of quickness on this drill. It's almost an emotion drill for me because I have to concentrate a great deal. So I'll try to get this. I'll do this a couple times.
Kind of cool. All right, what else we got? Ever heard of bobbin lace? Yeah, Pistol Pete. He was something else, right? Magooch does all that shit. I want to see Magooch and Thindu play one-on-one. This bobbin lace sent me down a rabbit hole yesterday. I came across this. I've seen these videos on YouTube. So I believe it or not, I watched like 5 tutorials on bobbin lace. I went through the first 5 videos for beginners. I'm thinking about ordering one. I want to try it. you know, with the pins, and you get your little pattern, and you got to go in order, you know, like 2 and 3, 1 and 4. Then 3 and 4. There's patterns to go, different colors, the half stitch, all these different techniques. Perfect for somebody with ADD. I just think that's really cool. And it takes like 5 years to get even halfway decent at doing that, apparently. So, I mean, look at all those pins in there. It's just insane. How do you even keep track? I wouldn't mind trying it, though. All right, what else do we got? Yes. Oh, I've been saying this the whole time, that the government controls the outcome of sports, and they use high-tech military technology to rig the games. You know, they can control the speed of the horses. They can control the flight of the football. They can control cue balls and billiard balls and basketballs and everything. They can control it all. That's just what they do. This guy, JJ Redick, says the NBA is using rigged. It says that basketballs the NBA is using are rigged with microchips, and that's why the Lakers had 5 shots go in and out.
JJ, pretty impressive and efficient second quarter there on offense, especially. What did you see from your team get rolling there?
The ball stopped rattling in and out.
That helps usually in basketball.
When there's 5 of those shots in a quarter, it's a little odd.
All right, for sure. Second half.
What was that movie? I think it took place with the Washington Huskies or something. No, maybe that's a different movie. There's a basketball movie about that where they put a little electronic chip in the ball, and every time I got near the rim, they would make it rattle off.
I wish I knew, and I totally believe you. I totally believe you.
Zone was good for us in the second quarter. We slowed them down, held them to whatever 18 points in the second quarter. Zone was good for us.
Thank you, JJ. Billy, let's get on that. Okay, let's research what movie. JJ.
And he ain't joking. He said the ball quit rattling in and out. What was the difference? Well, nothing other than the fact that you motherfuckers quit using your technology in the second half. That's what he's trying to say. I see it happen in snooker all the time too, where the ball will rattle, and you know these guys they're pros. It's what they do, and then you know you can just tell by the look on their face. They just know, like, I lost friends by saying the NFL is rigged. People thought I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Look at us. Yeah, right, Grateful? I mean, it is 100% rigged, without a doubt. You know, it is rotten to the core, as they say. This guy talked about one of the most disturbing things that he saw in the military.
Remember, what are some of the things that you saw while you were serving in the Middle East, while you were fighting in these wars?
One of the most disturbing things I saw was when our unit was driving around and we saw a personally owned vehicle driving towards our direction. And at this time, our unit and everybody is always looking for potential threats. And somebody reported the vehicle's entering, coming from the east. And I see it. And then out of all this suspicious paranoia, somebody shot the vehicle and ended up killing this young boy in the passenger seat, and the dad was driving. And I just couldn't imagine being that dad driving him down the street, not knowing you're going to run into a convoy of United States Marine vehicles, and your son gets killed right next to you. And we stopped, and our commander went and with some translators and tried to make it seem like, try to make amends or try to explain the situation somehow. And 20 minutes later, we all get back in our vehicle. Nobody left their vehicles, but we get back ready to move, and we drive on, and that man's just there without his son anymore. And so the unnecessary overkill of action there was just
disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I thought this technology has been around for years now, but augmented reality while you're driving. So it could be raining and dark, and you can have it give you a vision of a clearer night. With you. I think that's in the Cadillac, it said. Cadillac Escalade. That looks like all of the videos, guys. Let me see if I had any booked on yesterday's. No. We played all those. So that's it. I mean, Turning Point USA, you know, that thing's heating up because the ATF came out and said that the bullet doesn't match the gun. They have 7 different people's DNA on the gun, and everybody's lying. So will they even go to trial for Tyler Robinson for murdering Charlie Kirk? Who knows? It's crazy. But yeah, I gotta go pick my granddaughter up. I still have a little bit of time. Go put my cupcakes away and figure out my game plan for the rest of the day. I have my day is wide open now after I get back, so I'm just gonna work all day in the kitchen, stock up for Easter. That's about it. I appreciate everybody hanging out. What's Tommy saying? That is it. What the fuck? You want to come up for a minute, Tommy? You want to shoot the shit for a few? I still got a few minutes if you want. I don't know what we could talk about, but I'm sure we could find something to talk about. Yeah, it wasn't a very, very good show today, right? I mean, well, you know why? It's because I made 12 dozen cupcakes between 7 p.m. last night, and I went to the store this morning at 3:30 a.m. Actually, about 3:40 a.m. Got home at 4:05 a.m. Put your show on and made cupcakes all through your show. Even after your show was over, I was still making cupcakes. And then I just spent a little bit of time bookmarking the videos here and there. Oh, that's right. You took on a whole bunch more meetings. I forgot. Massive workload, Tommy Stiggs, in the morning, guys. He is just, the meetings are lined up. Some of the meetings are about speech disfluency, not using ums and likes, and you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Thanks for raising your blood pressure. Yes, as always, grateful. That's what we do. Hey, teacher, you have a terrific day as well. Yep, I'll get out of here. Probably see you over at Theme Dues. And stay safe. Peace out.